Good evening and good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually today the Federal Reserve, obviously the Jackson Hole Symposium that actually will be at 4 o'clock later today. And believe me, it will actually move the market quite heavily. As I said, please don't try this at home. I have actually the running trades that are running, and the dollar is not actually performing that well as what I expected. But there was Fed officials yesterday that actually stated they are the hawks of the Federal Reserve. And they actually made some damning comments. And as you could see yesterday, the dollar started to rise. So hopefully they are right today, and hopefully it will actually change Jerome Powell's dovish stance and become more hawkish. I will just take a short break, and then I'll be back with you with some more information about the Fed officials.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually the Jackson Hole Symposium, which will be later at 4 o'clock, where actually Jerome Powell will actually release this vital statement. But please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Please drop your comments. Please like as well. And please, there's a link below. Click on it, register account, and get my free class that will start on the 4th of September. Now, let's get into it. Now, yesterday the dollar actually started to move up. Now, this was when three Fed officials was actually talking yesterday. One of them with the Fed hawk circle before Powell's speech as they push for bond taper, which is actually where they need to start to taper. So you could see actually there was a rise yesterday in the United States dollar. The first one that I will cover is actually Fed's Kaplan is worried about inflation and risk taking, and wants to announce taper in September. Now, this is one of the Fed officials, which I actually likes a lot. Now, Kaplan was stating that food prices are getting high, and also the other thing is the housing market that is becoming a problem. Because of the housing market that is increasing, that actually, I would say people can't afford a house and they are priced out of the housing market. So there is an uneven economy and a massive uneven economy brewing actually in the United States, because actually the people that are between the ages of 20 and 30, they can't afford a house. And that is all to do, or some of the factors that comes in, that is now to do with tapering. Because if the interest rates are low, obviously your people that understand economics will actually go out and borrow money, and then obviously they will actually buy assets, and one of them is surely housing. Now, that is what Kaplan was stating yesterday. And then also, if we look at Bullard, now this has been stated here that I'm just actually scrolling down. Bullard, the Fed should taper this fall, go fairly rapidly to end early 2021. He actually made quite a heavy comment. Now, you must remember, James Bullard is actually one of the seventh most recognized economists in the world, and he had actually a very good track record. So a lot of people do listen to him, and he's quite a big influencer as well. And he was stating that the Federal Reserve need to taper actually early, and it needs to get finished by the first quarter of 2022. When he was actually putting out that statement, it just shows you that the market is flooded with US dollars, and they need to do something. Look, James Bullard will not talk something that he doesn't know. And that's why he actually stated that they need to stop taper on the first quarter of 2022. Now, that means that if Jerome Powell do talk in that way, that tapering will stop actually in 2022 first quarter. Then it means actually the dollar will actually move quite aggressively, because that is actually beyond the market expectations. Now, there's very good reason why he was stating that. He was also talking about a heavy inflation number, but very importantly, he was talking about PCE inflation, which is personal consumption expenditure inflation there. He was actually saying last year they were talking about a 1.8 PCE inflation. That is now core PCE inflation at 1.8%. The statement, or I would say that actually the economic data of the PCE will get released about 2:30 later today. That number is already over 3%. So it is far away from what they predicted at 1.8 and is already at 3%. So the heat is on the Federal Reserve that they need to act quickly because things are getting out of hand. And as what I said over and over again, I think that inflation is a bit sticky. Now, also the other one was actually where we look at, she is actually also one of the Fed officials. Fed's George and Bullard back tapering bond buying sooner than rather later. Also another one, Fed George say it's time to start tapering asset repurchase. She was actually talking more aggressively on the fact that it needs to start now. They can't wait any longer because of the uneven US economy that is happening. Because once the Federal Reserve, and even in South Africa, once interest rates are low, your people that are well off will take these loans and they will buy assets and they will push up prices. And then it is not in favor of the people that start with their lives or in favor of the poor. And even in South Africa's term that we're talking about printing money from the Reserve Bank, this is actually a very good example that printing money does not solve inequality and poverty and unemployment. It doesn't. It just creates more inequality and creates actually more unemployment. So printing money is definitely not a good idea. And these are the officials that were stating that the Federal Reserve needs to stop with a QE program and start to slash that big balance sheet of the Federal Reserve. On the last part, that is my trading account. Now, I'm with the dollar now for quite some time for this whole entire week. The dollar actually showed some strength earlier on, actually yesterday, and it was actually sitting still on the 93 mark. Now, I'm in favor with the US dollar. I think Jerome Powell will actually start to talk about tapering. And personally, there is about 12 Fed officials, or I would say members, and 8 of them are in favor of tapering. The only thing is, with what time frame? Will James Bullard be right by stating that he will actually, that Bullard stated that it will actually start this year and end in quarter 1 2022. Will Jerome Powell follow that? I personally think, from my personal perspective, and that's why I'm in favor with the dollar, and please don't try this at home. That is my opinion, is my trading account, and I'm actually taking the risk here. So I was just thinking, listen, yeah, it looks like the taper, it's all over the show. There is actually a story that goes around about the new variant that is running around, and the Federal Reserve may actually stop or actually delay the tapering due to the Delta variant that is actually running around. But these 3 officials were not even talking about the virus. They were more that America is solid, people are spending, and they don't see a problem where they need to taper. So maybe Jerome Powell will follow Esther George's path, James Bullard and Kaplan's path, and start to taper. Personally, from my point of view, I think he must do it, because otherwise the economy will overheat. You will have rapid or runaway inflation if he do delay this decision. So at 4 o'clock, that will be actually the big speech. So please don't forget to tune in, or basically on other news channels, or basically I will try my absolute best if I can actually do it myself. But it will be difficult because obviously I'm trading and I need also to listen to this broadcasting. But please, at 4 o'clock, that is where the market will go nuts. So please be on high alert at that time. That's it from my side. All the best with, there is actually one coming through here. When I become famous by followers prime views. Oh, okay. This is actually someone that was just talking here. I thought it was a question, but that is all from my side. I will see you guys definitely on Monday with some more information regarding this Jackson Hole Symposium. It will riddle the market quite aggressively. All the best with trading. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and also register on the trading account below. Register your account funded and then I will give you my free class. That's it. Have a lovely weekend, and then I will see you guys on Monday. Bye bye.